office. The Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion that aside from being a further authentication of the choice of the Church of Wales walking away from the truth, Bishop Van's election is a signal that some sections of the global Anglican world have resolved to abandon the truth of God's word by sacrificing the authority of the scripture for a postmodern agenda that has a statement signed by the primate of all Nigeria Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Henry Ndokoba. The church noted that it will not recognize the election of Right Reverend Cherry Van as Archbishop of Wales. Archbishop Ndokoba stated that with the election as Archbishop of Wales, the salvation of the souls of men, biblical ethics, and the identity of Anglicans globally are at stake, adding that the development is an impairment of the church's credibility to do missions and evangelism and salvaging the very soul of Anglican orthodoxy. Away from that, the federal government has committed to implement fair and professional standing of nurses across the country. This is as the National Association of Nigerian Nurses, Dengayadu, finalized reconciliation moves to end the industrial disputes. To some political matters now. The 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, says a one term of 4 years is enough for him to accomplish his ambition of a new Nigeria. According to him, history has shown that positive legacies are in favor of leaders who stay shorter in office. Writing on his X handle, Mr. Obi noted that yet his legacy endures as a model of principled leadership. Mr. Obi said that the mental fitness of those who framed the Constitution, replacing rank-seeking and waste. In the meantime, the Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, has asked northern political leaders to support President Bola Tinubu ahead of the 2027 election. Mr. Gbajabiamila, who spoke in Abuja, described President Tinubu as a leader whose track record and commitment to national unity warrant unwavering support. He told his audience said ongoing projects across the north, such as road networks, rail line expansions, and agricultural revitalization efforts are evidence of the administration's balanced approach to national development. In education, a professor of law and former secretary to the Enugu State government, Simon Otuanya, has emerged as the 16th Vice-Chancellor of the University of Nigeria Nsukka, UNN. Professor Otuanya beats 25 other candidates to clinch the keenly contested position. His appointment was ratified over the weekend by the Governing Council of the university following a transparent and merit-based selection process chaired by the chairman of the Governing Council, Mr. Kayode Ojom. Announcing his appointment, Mr. Ojo, who is also the Pro-Chancellor of the university, said the selection process that eventually ended with Professor Otuanya started since last year. He said the selection commenced from the previous council, noting that the council inherited the process, which was for about 26 candidates. Mr. Ojo added that the council went through rigorous process to select the new vice-chancellor, stressing that they spent days reviewing curriculum vitae and personal interviews with the candidates. In his acceptance speech, Professor Otuanya thanked President Bola Tinubu and Governor Peter Mbah for their commitment and doggedness in ensuring that the appointment came to pass. He appreciated the UNN Governing Council for all the time spent, their commitment, thoroughness, and for the rigors they had to go through as well as the pains they bore. The new VC pledged to serve the university with all his heart, strength, and within his powers, and with the cooperation and collaboration of the Council to bring the UNN's glorious days back. And in sports, Nigerians, the Tigers, have once again etched their names into the history books, emerging as champions of the 2025 FIBA Women's Afrobasket in Côte d'Ivoire after a commanding 78-64 victory over Mali in the final. Led by head coach Rena Wakama, the Nigerian side delivered a stellar performance at the Palais des Sports in Abidjan to secure their fifth straight continental crown, a feat no other nation has achieved in the tournament's history. The win also guarantees the Tigers an automatic berth at the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup in Berlin, Germany. In the meantime, world record holder in the women's 100-meter hurdles, Toby Amushan, cruised to victory in the event at the 2025 Athletic Federation of Nigeria's national trials at the Yaba College of Technology Sports Complex in Lagos. The 28-year-old fired quickly off the blocks at the Yaba Tech Sports Complex and wheeled away to clinch the first position in a time of 12.57 seconds for her fifth title. Amoshan finished ahead of rising star Adobe Tabubo, who came second, while Faith Osamuyi placed third. To end the news on the round globe, here are the main points again. Western leaders have condemned videos of emaciated Israeli hostages filmed by their captors in Gaza. More than 60 migrants have died when a boat carrying around 150 people sank off the coast of Yemen. The Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion has strongly condemned the election of Right Reverend Cherivan, an openly lesbian cleric, as the Archbishop of Wales. A professor of law and former secretary to the Enugu State government, Simon Otuanya, has emerged as the 16th Vice-Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN. We also told you that the Nigerians, the Tigers, have once again etched their name into the history of books, emerging as champions of the 2025 FIBA Women's Afrobasket after a commanding 78-64 victory over Mali. That was the news. For breaking news, eyewitness report, please call 0703 043 7110. Thanks for joining us. I am Chidimma Ikemede. Bye.
right, dear viewer, many thanks to you for joining us on the show, The Arena, on Aneke television today. My name is Chris Anibogo, welcoming you on board your regular platform where we meet to take on burning and topical issues and matters which faces us as a people in society. Yes, on this platform, we host analysts and guests who come to offer their thoughts and their opinions on these issues and matters, all geared towards engendering better society for every one of us. So you're welcome on board. Yes, today we are beaming our searchlight on a very important political matter. Recently, we saw the members of the National Assembly take visits to the various geopolitical zones in the country, where they went to collect public opinion on silent political issues and matters in the bid for constitutional review in the country. Yes, you know that the constitution we've been running with in the country is the 1999 constitution, which a lot of persons have said needs to be reviewed. All right, so on the show today, we are joined by a man with a great wealth of experience, especially in political issues and matters. He's a public affairs analyst. He's a principal lecturer in the Department of Public Administration, IMT, that's Institute of Management and Technology, here in Enugu, as well as the Coordinator Advocacy for Good Governance, Southeast. Honorable Dr. Nwanze Aneke. Doc, you're welcome to our studios today.
I'm glad to be in Aneke TV today.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, dear viewer, so you sit back as the discussion unfolds. Let's begin on this note, sir. Yes, we are looking at a constitutional review. But first and foremost, let's lay the background. When we say constitution, what exactly are we looking at, especially at this level now?
Holistically, constitution is a body of principles of rules and regulations. It may be written, it may be unwritten, by which a state is governed. By extension, it could be organizations and associations, but it is a document that controls and paves way for every nation, every association to have their ethical conduct. So without this constitution we are talking about, then people will misbehave, people will not lay claim to anything. Like, it means when we are talking about constitutional review, which means there is an existing constitution ab initio.
All right, so constitution could be in different types. It could be written, it could be unwritten. And right now in Nigeria, we know that we have the written constitution running for us. What makes it a written constitution?
What makes it a written constitution is that it is embedded in a document. Like, if I say I need Nigerian constitution, there is a document that I can say this is Nigerian constitution. It is not like in British constitution that is unwritten. That is because it's unwritten, you cannot lay claim to a particular document. It is a written constitution because it is documented.
It is documented.
Yes.
Okay, now over time we've seen where Nigeria has been governed by a constitution, beginning from the days of the colonial masters in our clime. We've seen, I wouldn't be able to trace it how they came, but I know of Macpherson constitution at a time, Lightoton constitution at a time, where are they, and the rest of them before we even had our independence. Now, I don't know for you, which of the constitutions from the beginning till where we are now, 1999, would you say is best for Nigeria?
1999 constitution, as amended. Let me say this, let me shock you. If anything is embedded in mistakes, that mistakes continue to grow until it is corrected. Now, let us go back to the preamble of Nigerian constitution.
Go ahead, sir.
The preamble says, we, the people of Federal Republic of Nigeria, do have this as our constitution to become one indissoluble, indivisible entity known as Nigeria. I want to tell our viewers that this preamble is embedded in fallacy, because you and I was not part of that constitutional makeup.
But people represented us.
That is
every one of us couldn't have gathered.
That is where the problem comes. And the people that makes that constitution are not experts. You know, there is something I believe in expertise. I believe in professionalism. I don't believe in mediocrity. And because those who are not more knowledgeable in making that constitution have made that mistake. That is the reason amending the constitution through constitutional review becomes a sine qua non, becomes inevitable, becomes timely, or else we'll be in state of motion in this country without moving. And the earlier we address some salient proposals as made by stakeholders over 1999 constitution as amended, we will be in this country, and the same thing that happens in yesterday will continue to happen. Remember, Aristotle says that for you to know what will happen, you must know what has happened. One of the stakeholders wrote a book and said, where the rain started beating us is in that constitution.
Now, a lot of discussions, have come up from time to time, where experts have told this your path of saying that the 1999 Constitution is rooted on a very faulty foundation. But then the question again is, yes, we understand it is a constitution that came from the military. Okay?
Sure.
It came from the military. But then we understand also that the military got a team of civilians together. Some of them senior advocates of Nigeria. I don't know if Professor Ben Ben Wabe is
part of it.
I don't know if it was part of it.
Williams.
You understand. There was a gathering of, team of experts who came together and drafted the Constitution.
Can I shock you?
Shock me, sir.
He that pays the piper dictates the tune. These constitutional giants, constitutional lawyers we have just mentioned cannot do without the biddings of their paymasters. And their paymasters at that time were the military dictators. And now we are in civilian, or do I call it in another dispensation? And let me also say this. Constitution is like a culture. Any culture that is static dies over time. And any constitution, because it has to do with aspiration to make the people whose the constitution is meant to change their lives, change their condition, provide security, protect fundamental human rights. If things are moving and it is not changed from time to time, things are bound to not to be okay. In those days, 1999 as amended is 1979 constitution as amended in 1999. There are so many things that have taken place. The political patterns have changed. Tech is inclusive. Security situation as of 1979 and 1999 today is not the same thing. That security have become one of the proposals of this constitution we are talking about to be reviewed. And other things like electoral reforms. Are we going to be participating in the former electoral pattern of 1979 or in 1999? Things are changing. And if we discuss, and if this constitution are amended, like let me use electoral reform for an instance. People who have diaspora voters, I believe that 20% of Nigerians are not in this country. They are living in abroad. So they can participate by voting. Also, there's what we call independent candidature. It's not a must that you will run through political party. You can have independent on a zero-party platform. There are so many things. Now, we are claiming, that we are practicing federalism. The federalism we are practicing today as of that 1979 as amended in 1999 is a quasi-federalism. It's not a true federalism. But when we begin to talk about that, I will talk more on what true federalism is all about. And I will also talk on physical federalism. And these are the things where people are becoming agitating through knowledge. Because knowledge gives you power to agitate for your rights. If your rights are being denied, it is only your knowledge of that right that will give you the impetus to agitate. And so many other things. Equity in political participation. I'm not talking of equality. I'm talking of equity. Women are not inclusive. Inclusivity means that they should be part of and parcel of the current day politics, either by appointive position or by elective position. These are the things why today the agitation is increasing in geometrical progressions.
Thank you very much. Quite an interesting discourse. Well, I don't know. You've actually taken us to areas of critical national concern. And over time, we've seen where different administrations in Nigeria have come up with proposals for national confab. We saw it happen during the era of the former President Matthew Arimo Obasanjo's regime, down to the days of Goodluck Jonathan. I think that was the last we had. 2014. These are critical national issues, burning national issues. But then, I wouldn't know for you, Dr. Nwanze, the 1963 Constitution of Nigeria.
Independence Constitution.
63 should be the Republican Constitution.
Republican Constitution.
Republican Constitution. Between the 1963 Republican Constitution, the 1979 Constitution, and the 1999 Constitution, which will you say is most suitable for Nigeria?
Is 1979 Constitution. Now, most of the problems we're having in the previous constitutions is if we don't inculcate the value systems, the nometic, do I call it nomenclature of the citizens, and makes a constitution and think that they will follow. It doesn't work like that. It is even in 1979 Constitution that the people were inculcated. In 1963 Constitution and other previous constitutions, starting from Clifford 1922, that gave us elective principles, the people that are supposed to be the beneficiary of the constitution are not inculcated. Why? The people that the white men, the colonial masters, did that constitution in such a way that it serves their selfish aggrandizement. And that is the reason. And if, like in America, where we borrowed presidential system and this system is working for them because of strong institutions and because of their value systems which they tend to protect. Now, if we make any constitution, whether 79 and whether 99, and we don't have strong institutions and, a kind of put into our, that's what we call local content, into consideration, it won't work, because there are certain things that works in America. If you borrow it and put it in Nigeria, it is not going to work. So whatever constitution, whatever amendment we're going to do must have into consideration local content, must have into consideration culture, people's belief on what is obtainable. Because when you are managing human being, that's what we call humanistic idiosyncrasies, which is not 1 + 1. Because of human beings are very, I call it, they're kind of complex in nature. So the rules that works in America, that works in UK, their parliamentary system of government may not work here. So whatever we are doing is contingent on environmental ecology. If we don't put the environmental contingencies into consideration, if you amend this constitution from now till Jesus comes, it's going to be in error. And that is the reason why the touring of the geopolitical, 6 geopolitical zones we have in Nigeria.
The National Assembly.
Yes, the National Assembly is going around to get stakeholders' view, to get even not just stakeholders, commoners' views about the essence of making a constitution effective to serve the aspirations and alignment of the people whose constitution is meant to serve. The constitution is not meant to serve the government, it's meant to serve the people and to make life better for the people, so that what they are not enjoying in the past, they can enjoy it in the present and enjoy it in the future.
Well, Dr. Nwanze, I get the signals from the producer that we need to go on a very quick break, but the break promises to be very short. When we return, we'll look critically into more areas on this matter. But then before we go on this break, I just want to get it from you. Let the viewer hear from you. Would you recommend constitutional review for 1999 Constitution, or would you want a brand new Constitution for Nigeria now? Is it amendment or a brand new one?
For now, let's go for amendment.
Let's go
Review.
for amendment. Yeah. All right. So we'll pause it there now. So dear viewer, we'll return on the arena after this time out. Remember, you're on Aneke television. Don't go away. viewer, many thanks to you for being with us, and thanks for returning on the program, The Arena on Aneke Television. Just before we went on that short break, I told you that we are having the honor of the presence of Honorable Dr. Aneke, a public affairs analyst as well as the coordinator advocacy for good governance Southeast, talking to us on constitutional review. So back to you now, sir. In earlier discussions, we'll be able to lay background into what the Constitution is supposed to be, how far, how well have we gone with our constitutions from the word go, from independence till now. So now I want to look critically. The 1999 Constitution is here. You said before we went on that short break that for you, you want an amendment of the Constitution. And currently, we have the members of the National Assembly touring the six geopolitical zones to get feeds from the society on what and what should be entrenched in the Constitution moving forward. This exercise, do you see it as necessary?
It's a step in
Because this is not the first time we are having something like this from the National Assembly. Each National Assembly that comes on board,
let me shock you.
we see them doing this, doing the same path. So
let me shock you.
Go ahead, sir.
It is a step in the right direction. But remember that this process is a process that faces a lot of challenges, both seen and unseen. Because there are people, that stakeholders, that if we do the proposals of this constitution, it will not go down well with them because of their selfish inclinations, because of their selfish aggrandizement. People like, let me give you instances, if you devolutionize powers, those people in Abuja may be without a work, maybe without what they are doing currently, maybe cutting away resources and all that, because the state is going to harness the resources. And it even take care of what we call resource control. This is the reason. So sometimes it faces sabotage. So my prayer is that having thought or storing the six geopolitical zone, that those political gladiators will not sabotage the process. But if the process are done according to our aspiration, according to people's feedback, because in communication there is what we call systems theory. In the systems, it goes in as inputs, in the general, yes, go through process, come out as feedback, go back again. So it is encyclical. So what they are now testing is feedback from stakeholders, from people who are supposed to enjoy the constitutional amendment. But there are some people seated out there who want to sabotage and deflate the effort of the National Assembly. Remember that 40 bills have also been treated by the House of Representatives before they now assume the red carpet, decided to go to 6 geopolitical zones. And after that, it doesn't end there. They are still going to give it to 24 states because the process is third majority of National Assembly who is going to talk about the amendment. But after touring the 6 geopolitical zone, it will still come back to 36 states where the legislators, House of Assembly, will also adopt it and make it to become active. And that is where implementations, that is how implementation, because it has passed through other processes before the amendment will now become effective.
All these protocols, are you not seeing that's where there are going to be bottlenecks, where there are going to be, failures, disappointment? That has always been the case in the past.
The truth is that
what's going to be different this time around?
He that comes to equity must come with clean hands.
That's right.
There is always a bottleneck attached in governance. There is always a bottleneck attached in administration. But this time around, it is the powers that be. I mean, the powers that be should make it a reality.
Considering the period we have now, 2 years is gone for this administration.
The time frame is between now and December 2025 is the time frame that we are given to wrap up the process of the constitutional review. So I believe we are in July. Before December, there is something positive will come out of it.
Something positive will come out of it.
I'm very, very, very
we need to be
optimistic.
positive about this time around. So specifically speaking, what could we say should be the relevance of this constitutional review?
There's so many relevance of this constitutional review. I begin with electoral reform. I begin with federalism, the practice through federalism. Now, I also believe in democratic principles. Now, let me talk on electoral reform.
Go ahead, sir.
If the review is taken in place and it is approved to become a working document, our brothers that lives abroad can vote. And we can have what we call independent candidature to run elections.
When you say our brothers, those of them in the diaspora.
Yes.
But then, will that not amount to bringing on board what do you call it, electoral voting system?
Yes. You know, our electoral, that's part of electoral reform. When they can stay there and exercise their franchise.
Voting system.
That is, we have been practicing electronic voting system, which refused to work.
That's what I'm saying.
As a result of systemic corruption.
So
yes.
when we've not been able to harness.
In the last election, there are certain things that Nigeria expended money electronically so that the election should be free and fair. But at the end of the day, those things did not work, and the electoral results were still, manipulated through manual, precedents. So now, if we have this reform, now, of a truth, the system will work electronically. And this is what is in vogue. In the United States of America, it is applied. In UK, there are citizens that stays abroad. But these things has to do with change of mindset.
You're going too far. You're talking about US and UK. What about some African countries in recent
Okay, now that's what I'm saying. Because these are the things. That's the essence of, I said it ab initio, that the essence of this review is that things are changing. And if it is not changed, then the change will not change. Now, if we reform the electoral aspect of this country, remember last elections was bedeviled by a lot of, abnormalities, a lot of malpractice, electoral malpractice. Then I want to also talk on federalism. In true federalism, the state harnesses the resources that is incumbent in their geopolitics, environment, and pay a stipend to the center. But here, the opposite is the case. The federal government harnesses the resources and pay a stipend to the state.
The states that are meant to be the landlords of these resources.
Yes, this also, I want to use this to also address local government autonomy.
Right.
The local government autonomy says, one of the proposals in this ongoing constitutional review says that local government they propose that local government should be autonomous, where they get their resources directly from the federal account without a midwife in it by the state government. This will have a long way to boost sustainable development. It will make local government chairmen that is in their local government in their region to work more. Then again,
the news report today says that after 1 year of the Supreme Court ruling on financial autonomy for local governments, that governors, state governors, are still holding on to the money. And in the evaluation, I think is over, well, let me not say.
But if autonomy,
it has run into
if local government are given autonomy, if they are autonomous, the state governors will not have that control. That's what we are talking about. Now let me shock you further.
Right.
Everybody knew, even the child, even a baby inside her mother's womb, even everybody is no longer a secret that today what makes Nigeria is insecurity. It is even affecting foreign investors not to come to Nigeria. It's even affecting people that are Nigerians. They sleep with their eyes open. It is affecting agricultural produce. You go to Benue, go to Jos, they will always have what we call political, brouhaha, instability, killings. People don't go to farm again because of insecurity.
That's right.
And one of the aspiration or one of the proposals of this constitutional review is state policing. It will devolutionize powers. It will no longer be Nigerian police. The state will now be empowered to have their own police system, to be involved in proactive security control.
You know what really baffles me most of the time, Dr. Nwanze, is the fact that we allege that we copied from the American style. But then I understand that in comparative political analysis, that what America does is actually, are you with me?
Yes.
A different thing entirely from what we are doing here. For instance, on resource control, resource control, the states in America are responsible for their resources.
That's one thing we are talking about.
But in Nigeria, it is the federal government that is in charge of the resources.
Yes.
In America, we understand that states have their own police system.
That is.
But you have the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Intelligence, at the top.
Yeah.
But here, you just have one police system that is chiefly controlled by the national government. So I really don't know. Let's look at the implications of this constitutional review. What do you think?
The implications is as good as the good advantages, which I have enumerated.
I understand.
And if these things are, taking place, implemented or approved to become a working document, I will tell Nigerians that are under my voice that certain things, it will strengthen democratic principles.
Why I actually asked you this question, when the team of National Assembly members came to Enugu here, we understand that the governor of Enugu State, Dr. Pitamba, actually made a case for the southeastern people of Nigeria, where he said that the imbalance in the number of states is actually an error that needs to be corrected. For instance, every other geopolitical zone in the country has 6 states, whereas Northwest has 7. But Southeast has just 5. So I don't know why I asked you about the implication is, are you not seeing a situation whereby maybe this review process is going to bring up wounds that have already been healed, bring up, I don't know.
The truth is that
bring up issues that may begin to want to tear us further apart.
Part of why we are looking for constitutional review is for equity, is for to reduce inequality. We are sidelined. The Southeast is not enjoying what others are enjoying. So that demand is timely. That demand is okay. Because even in Igbo, there is this song they sang sometime, Emelundeba. Now, if other states are 6, it is high time Southeast becomes also 6 as part of the change that we are looking at, as part of the amendment, because I was doing research. I said creation of more states to strike a balance is part of the constitutional review. And as I speak, there is some proposals or bills to create another state in the East. It is now onus on the federal government, it is onus on the National Assembly to fasten the bills so that the federal government can make one more state. I am also proposing for one more state, not just the governor of Enugu State, for one more state for the Southeast, so that we can come to the level of equilibrium, so that we can come to the level of egalitarianism, so that we can come to the level of equity. And this, if it is done, will also going to be a plus for the current government, because the essence of government, according to Abbas Camus, is to give to the people what they cannot give to themselves. I, or governor of the state, Enugu State, cannot create additional state to add to Southeast. It has to pass through the process, and the process is what is ongoing. And I'm saying is, let it not be a nip in the bud like the previous moves to have one additional state. It's the same military who did the mistake in the previous years in the constitution we are trying to amend now, that did that inequality in creation of states. Because from history, all the creations of states have been in the military dictatorship.
And we know where the military dictators are coming from.
And if it is an error done in the military dictatorship, I want to also say the current dispensation is not a military dispensation. It is a democratic dispensation. And democracy is whereby people's views are held in high esteem, whereby representation takes place more than, selections. So, and we are saying that one more state is good in order to strike a balance. If the federal government wants to create more states, let it still be in state of equilibrium. And if you are giving other states 1 to make it 7, they should give Southeast 2 states at once. And that will fast track even development and sustainable
We looked
development.
at electoral reforms. We looked at injecting diaspora voting participation. We looked at the place of independent candidates. All of this comes under electoral reforms. Now we've equally looked at the proposal by the Enugu State Governor for the creation of additional state for the Southeast. And my worry, but then you've cleared it, my worry is wouldn't all of these things, the process of this constitutional review, amount to opening up old wounds that have been buried somewhere? But you said we need to trash these things. As we begin to wind off now on the show, I wouldn't know. For you, do you think we should look at rotational presidency in Nigeria? Or do we leave it for...
I've said so many things about the presidency rotation in Nigeria. We said something before, either before we started or when we started, about CONFAB, Constitutional Conference.
That's right.
1914 Constitutional, before 2014 Constitutional Conference, there is a Constitutional Conference that was headed by Justice Taribi White. And one of their recommendations is rotational president on the basis of South-North divide. But I want to also say that if we want to, Igbo people say, if we begin to be friends, let's remove, the aspect of being conny in it, so that the friendship will have a strike of balance. Now, if we want to propose rotational presidency, it is not going to be South-North divide. It is going to be on the 6 geopolitical zones, so that we will strike a balance and equality. Because if you say South-North, sometimes it is being predominated by North-West, North-East. The North Central may not have the power for decades or for years. Then when we say South, on the South-North, the Southeast have not seen the power. Not even since 1999. I was in Radio Nigeria and we were discussing and I was analyzing. From 1999, the power moves from South to West. But it moves from Southwest to North, either North Central, Northeast, Northwest. But if we want to be true to ourselves, the power should move from the 6 geopolitical zone, whereby every geopolitical zone within 24 years should experience power for once. Yes, because you will agree with me now that when power shifts to the north now, North Central will still be agitating. But even in the military dictatorship, the North Central have produced presidents. Then in this current dispensation, the East is sidelined with the marginalization of this one state, which they are still owing us since the creation of states. In the research that I've done, the creation of states started since during the time of Yakubu Gowon.
That's right.
Tier 3 is Abacha in 1996. The creation of Delta states and Bonny State is sort of the nation. But then, these things are still asymmetrical. So if it must move, if I'm proposing rotational president, let the presidency rotate Southwest, South-South, and Southeast.
That's right.
In the north, we have Northwest, Northeast, and North Central. So you should move within that. And not even, there's one other thing that is on ground about, power, tenure of office in terms of re-election. If you ask me,
would you want a single term?
just
6 years? Or
one
do we
single
continue
tenure.
with 4
6
years?
years is too much. 5 years, single tenure is okay. So that the rotation could go round the geopolitical zone. If the powers that be are maintaining parochial interests, if any group or region gets the power by way of rotation, they can also use parochial interests to develop their own region. If it is on a state of equilibrium, let power and the resources of the country to be shared. Remember, when equals are assigned on equal, conflict must arise.
And now, on a conclusive note, I think our time is up. That's the signals I'm getting. But we'll not let you off. In the next 30 seconds, at the end of this whole review by the National Assembly, the buck ends on the table of Mr. President. Do you see the current president to having the political will to appending the signature on whatever becomes the outcome of this constitutional review?
Can I shock you?
Shock me
If
again,
the
sir.
current president of Nigeria could say it is my turn, Emilekon, and finally got the mandate of the people and was sworn in 2 years ago and removed fuel subsidy with that same willpower, if he wants, he can still make it a reality.
Okay.
I stand contradicted. I stand to be quoted.
No problem.
Yes, he has the willpower to make it a reality.
Until that happens, dear viewer, this is the much we'll take on this program today on the Arena on Aneke Television. I want to appreciate you in a special way for having participated. But our chief thanks goes to our guest, Honorable Dr. Nwanze Emeka, a principal lecturer in the Department of Public Administration, IMT Enugu. Many thanks to you for coming, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I must tell you that you've been very resourceful on the show.
Thank you, sir.
I will look forward to calling on you from time to time. Hope you oblige our calls.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
God's grace.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dear viewer, that is it. That is it. Until we come again, I remain Chris and Ibo. Thanking you for being with us. Bye for now.
The management of Aneke Television has paid a courtesy visit to the Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Enugu State Command, Dr. Elijah Etimweli, The visit, which took place at the Commandant's office in Enugu, was aimed at fostering synergy and strengthening collaboration between the station and the command. Obinobu, head of administration of the station, while speaking during the meeting, commended the NSCDC dedication to safeguarding national assets and maintaining peace and security in the area. He said the visit aimed to reaffirm and strengthen the existing collaboration between the TV and the NSCDC, and also acknowledged the NSCDC's efforts at securing the state. Obu further stressed the importance of cordial relationship between the NSCDC and the station, saying such collaboration was necessary for the promotion of peace, transparency, and credible information dissemination.
As a nascent television station, we have come to an understanding that there's no way we could flow and operate and gain ground in the society without collaborating with the security agencies like yours. That's why we have deemed you to come around as a way to familiarize ourselves with you, especially data that has to do with your core mandate, areas of protection of national assets, and other areas of concern which the Constitution ascribes to you. So from time to time, as an agency, we would like to be having this first-class information so as to help us to keep the public informed from time to time, so that they will not be ignorant of the happenings, especially your work and the operation of the agency in the state.
Responding, the Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Enugu State Command, Dr. Elijah Etim Willie, appreciated the visit and expressed readiness to work with the station to achieve shared goals. He assured the station of his office's openness and commitment to a robust working relationship, saying the media remains a critical partner in maintaining public order and public enlightenment.
Thank you, your team, your crew, for that, that show of love and concern. If you don't love an agency, you will not cover it. And so I see your love for us, and I pray the collaborativeness continue. And I want to also tell you that if you have challenge, anybody is challenging you, you need my security coverage, come and report, and the person will run away.
The NSCDC Commandant also reaffirmed the Corps' commitment to safeguarding educational institutions such as primary, post-primary to tertiary institutions. The visit was capped with the group photographs. For Aneke TV, it's been Chinwendo Ifeonwankwo reporting.
There are questions the world are yet to answer. Truths buried in time, echoed in tradition, and hidden in the stars. From the rituals of the ancients to the secrets of the atom, from the patterns in nature to the power of thought, Mysteries of Life takes you on a journey through the unknown, exploring the mystical, the philosophical, the traditional, and the scientific. What connects them all? What lies beneath the surface of what we know? Join us on Aneke TV as we uncover the secret layers and unlock the unseen. This is Mysteries of Life, where every truth begins with a question.
Good day, viewer. You're welcome to the Aneke TV program, Mysteries of Life. Today in our studio, we have two important persons to help us to look at a particular issue that is becoming a cause of concern among our people, called paganism. But they call it neo-paganism, according to the Bishop of Enugu Diocese, His Lordship CVC Onaga. Now, having said that, we have two eminent persons to discuss this matter. First, by my immediate left, we have our brother in his red cap, Mazi Aneke Anichukwu, a peace and conflict consultant. Anichukwu, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And then next to him, by his own left, we have our brother who is the children's pastor of the Assemblies of God Church, Owan Yenubu, Reverend Uche Kalu. Reverend, welcome to the program.
The pleasure is mine, sir.
You know, it's this issue of paganism, particularly neo-paganism. I want to start with you, the pastor. What is neo-paganism? So that, what is paganism first, before we go to the nuances, which we now call neo-paganism? Paganism, what is paganism?
Okay. Paganism, in my definition, is an act of worshipping the God that is not supreme,
Okay.
the God that we attach to our tradition,
Okay.
which we now call traditional religion.
Okay.
So once one oblige himself not to worship the supreme God, you are practicing paganism.
Okay. Once you are not, Anichukwu, he says, once you are not obliging yourself to worshiping the one supreme God, that you are getting yourself
Sure.
involved in what is paganism.
Yeah.
What do you think about what he said?
Paganism, from his own, he's free to urge his own view
Okay.
based on his
Perspective.
professional or religious point of view,
Okay.
because he's a pastor.
Okay.
And once he says anything against Christianity, he's a heresy.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
heresy. So he needs to protect his own side,
Okay.
and he cannot be objective on such issues.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. So, but in true view of what paganism is all about, paganism is just, first of all, is all about a delegatory reference established by the main religions, the so-called main religions of the world: Christianity, Islam, Judaism, whereby they delegatorily label other religions as worshippers of evil God. Then why they are worshiping the righteous God.
Okay.
But in life there is either evil or good, heaven or hell. And in that balance, before the gospel was brought to Africa, even Igbo land, in Igbo cosmology, we have God, Chukwukika Abiyama, and there's only one supreme God. They are not two. They are not two. So somebody saying that those who worship any other God, not under Christianity, even Africa, Igbo cosmology, we believe in is a monotheistic religion, because only one supreme God. Other ones are lesser deities, ancestors that are all intermediary, lesser deities. Then, so what I'm establishing is that they deliberately labeled Africans. Reverend Father Raymond Arazu, very Reverend Father Dr. Raymond Arazu, a scholar, a lecturer, is a great man in the Catholic papacy. He said that Africans, we are not worshipping, our ancestors never, there were no pagans. They are approaching God from African perspective. They are not pagans. So on that premise, I say, I counter his analogy and conclusion, saying that those who don't worship only under Christianity are pagans. They are not pagans. In fact, let me tell you the truth. The truth is that our ancestors worshipped one and only true God more righteously than we do today under Christianity and Islam.
Why do you say so?
Why I say so is that they are always conscious of what that what is in the Torah is innate in our minds as Africans and Igbos. Or if you go to Nri, there are 10 sins that are Lord in INRI. You are a researcher, a professor. Go to INRI. If any person who is able while cleansing of evil is 10, then that 10 is in tandem with the 10 commandments as given by to Moses. But I don't want to go so deep.
Okay.
Because all I say that our ancestors, the priests, not everybody that died is an ancestor. Our ancestors, they worship one and only true God, and there's no two true God, only one God.
Yeah, but let me get back to Reverend Uche, because this is your own premise.
Yes.
Which you have tried to establish. But Reverend Uche has already put forward one dimension to it, which is about that if you are following the African traditional religion, which is what we are saying, that you are a pagan, kind of. And I think there are other dimensions to paganism, as far as Uche is concerned.
Yeah, in discussant, I think we need to create a balance.
Okay.
We don't need to engage our viewers as if they have only one person they listen to.
Okay.
And there should be time balance in our approach.
No problem.
Okay?
Good remark.
And we shouldn't even not necessarily be attacking, but projective, bring out the point from your angle of view. To me, like I said, I didn't mention Christianity in my definition. I said once you don't worship the supreme God is attached, you are into traditional religion, which is purely paganism. Traditional religion is different from culture. Culture is a way of life. Traditional religion is a situation where you come to observe certain spirit and libations, and you do certain sacrifices which goes against the worship of the real righteous and holy God. And so when we talk about paganism, we are standing point clear that it is not the worship of a supreme God. Our ancestors may have worshipped in the ideation that they are worshiping a supreme God when Christianity has not come to play. And we will not take that to judge them. When Christianity came to play, the Word of God declared it openly that God is the creator of heaven and earth, in tandem to the opinion that God is the supreme God that our ancestors do worship. But when Jesus came into the scene, he became the way, the truth, and the life. And he taught us so many things about life itself, which goes different from that tradition that African people used to attach to pagan worship. So paganism entirely is not a worship of the supreme God. It's an idolatry.
Okay, paganism.
Yes.
It's idolatry.
It's idolatry. It's idolatry. Because when you now come up to sacrifice to a God, and outside the worship of the true God, you are engaging yourself into idolatrous worship. Sure.
Yeah, this is because that's one dimension to it.
Yes.
When I checked my dictionary, not necessarily online, I saw that paganism, apart from what you have just defined, both of you, but you have just added another dimension.
Yes, sir.
Because idolatry is even if you begin to even idolize yourself,
Good. Yes.
you become an idol.
Exactly.
Yeah. So idolatry is not just about worshiping one god or deity or another small god or deity. Because I looked at it and I found out that what they said there is that a pagan, that's where he was coming from, that a pagan is someone, and he used the word correctly, derogatorily referred to by the Jews for Judaism, by the Christians and Muslims. If you are not among the three, then they will refer to you as a pagan. But then the dictionary went on, the Shepherd Dictionary went on to even define anybody that is involved in pleasure pursuit
which is hedonism. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm coming.
Okay.
As also
engaging in paganism.
A pagan, because the person is now godless. Like for you, because you are coming from the idea of Christianity.
Yes.
And in the Bible, the man that got so much harvest and said to himself, "My soul, now you have everything that you need."
Okay.
Or the man that forgot the divers that forgot about the poor man Lazarus, how he also ended. So, but there's a way you just said that paganism is idolatry. I don't know. I'm just putting it so that we get our premises clear.
You know, I think before you engage him back,
yes,
etymologically, we had to just accept before we now diverse the context of the study.
Yes.
That once you are not worshipping the true supreme God, where there is no division of entity, you are a pagan. So you can now from there now start going into any area.
That's your view now. That is your own view.
That's the view.
That's your own view.
That's a view.
No, that's your view. That's not.
It may not be my own alone. It's a view.
No, that is okay. That is a view. You can call it. That is a view.
Good.
That is not his own view.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
So and the viewer is expected to learn from us because we're going into what's happening now. What's happening now is that lots of young men now come back. Go to the community and then put cloth around trees. That's what we call new paganism. That's why I talked about the disturbance to our bishop, Bishop Kaliso Naga. That now we have this new paganism and people are doing a lot of strange things. And that's why I brought up the other definition of the dictionary. You know, bringing in this pleasure principle, because if you ask those people the in-depth knowledge of what they are trying to institute or what they are trying to do, they may not be able to explain it. Apart from the fact that maybe they are beginning to get wealth, and so on and so on. So that's part of why I said let us bring it in, so that from there we will not enter into what now covers the ordinary persons. Because I'm so happy that you are involved in children's ministry. So,
but there is a crucial point you raised.
Yes.
That those who don't worship one true God are pagans.
Supreme God.
The supreme God are pagans. Even if you want to handle him from that, handle his submission from that point of view.
No, you're handling it for the viewer, not him.
Okay. Now, the African traditional religion.
Yes.
Worship only one true supreme God.
You know, we have a problem now. The problem we have is that he's looking at it from pantheism and monotheism.
If
that's the angle it's coming from.
But
you know that
smaller
the Christian religion, Judaism, Mohammedan religion,
Islam,
you know, they are about monotheism. The African traditional religion is more or less about pantheism. That's why the Igbo man, in the Igbo cosmology, an Igbo man creates his own God. I know that he believes in Chukwuka, but most of the time we create our God in Igbo land. We create our God, and if that God doesn't work, we use it and cook food and make a new God. So that's the angle it's coming from.
Okay. No, if I made it might sound so critical, but that is truth.
Okay.
If I say that if it comes to idolatry, which he raised,
that's what he said.
Idolatry. That even Christians, they're like Christian idolaters.
Yeah.
For instance, in the Holy Catholic Church, the Blessed Chapel, Sacrament, the crucifix, the scapula, the chaplet. Okay, for instance, the Blessed Sacrament, or the Madonna, Madonna, call it Madonna Shrine. They call it Madonna Shrine. Madonna Shrine is where there are where gods or other divine beings inhabit.
The shrine, yes.
Yes, they have. And I told people that if you go to Madonna Shrine and place your petition, it works.
I'm listening.
It works. So if true traditionalists, they don't bow down to any image. They never. A true traditionalist in Igbo, I know, will come out in the morning. They issue decrees with faith. They never bow down to any image. They sit down, bring cola, bring the sacramentals, and they issue decrees. And I know more not is. Ebo in an getting a judicial Navy actual, Yadiotua. Let it be with faith, and it works for them. So I won't like, if you want to do it in idolatry, I will tell you that Christians even practice idolatry more than these people who are saying that they are practicing traditionalism. Religion. Yes, you are a prof. In research, you don't bend to your church or religion. You come with objectivity, the plain truth, the fact.
You are not being objective then. So because bowing down to an image or bowing down to a god does not necessarily when you come and kneel down. When you make your submission, when you have your opinion, the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yes.
So whatever you speak is a representative of what you have in mind. And you cannot talk to whom you do not respect. Okay. So when someone talks to and this and that, in the heart, he has already submitted to that God. And there is no other way than it is.
So all I'm concluding...
Then when you are now saying that Christians, I don't want to be emphatical about it. I'm not a Catholic, but to be honest with you, different churches has their doctrine and dogma, and the way they relate to their own God. Do you understand? And I cannot conclusively say that everybody is fooling around. Yes, because they still get their solutions and answers.
Good.
Then the question you ask, from which source is it operating from? Now, I am a Pentecostal. Okay, even at that, the cloth we put on, there is a level we reference it, it becomes an idol. So all we are trying to say, going back to our context discussion, paganism, in the ancient time, you cannot in any way rule out idolatry. And you see, they are not sanctity. They are not sanctity as an entity. What do I mean? They are not holy as an entity. Ancient time, remember, they killed twins. How can one claim to be sanctity? How can one claim to be best approach to a supreme God, and then you engage in murdering, killing souls? Today, we have what plate? We have people having 7 children and all this at once, and they emerge great people in life. Those that you have killed as a result of whatever you call it.
That's the belief system.
Yes, fetish. Those African traditional religion then was fetish. And for us to engage back to it, we are engaging into fetish and paganism, and it is still the same idolatry. Where has it taken us to? And where do you think it will take us to? Christianity still remains the light.
No. I don't want to go into. The point is making. The point is making. Wait. The point is making is about idolatry. But this work is not about idolatry. Paganism is not about idolatry. I was talking about paganism, particularly because the young ones now are going back into what we now call neo-paganism. And we want to address this issue because it's not like that's. It's not a religion. It's a religion. It's not like. That they are pagans. No. It's not about whether they are pagans or not. It's about what revolution has brought up now. What it has brought up is this. This practice that our people are now going back to. How far does it liberate people?
Humanity, yes.
Even though I may not go along the people who think that Africans, were backward. Because if you go back to your New Testament, you will see that the Ethiopian eunuch came to Jerusalem as part of the worship of one God under Judaism before the time of the Pentecost and before he met Philip and so on and so on and so on. They were all in Africa. So Africans did not wait for this. Yeah, there were bad times, like you mentioned, when people took to killing twins, and all those.
Even Christians committed their own atrocities and evils. It's true.
We are not talking of the days of.
We are not
talking of days of darkness. We are talking of how do we bring our people out of the wrong practice. I think we take our time, we come back and then find out what to do. What are we going to do? Because the public needs to know what to do. so that the young ones do not get consumed in what they do not understand.
There are questions the world are yet to answer. Truths buried in time, echoed in tradition, and hidden in the stars. From the rituals of the ancients to the secrets of the atom, from the patterns in nature to the power of thought, Mysteries of Life takes you on a journey through the unknown, exploring the mystical, the philosophical, the traditional, and the scientific. What connects them all? What lies beneath the surface of what we know? Join us on Aneke TV as we uncover the secret layers and unlock the unseen. This is Mysteries of Life, where every truth begins with a question.
Yeah, welcome back, viewer. You know, we thank our brothers, Reverend Uche and Maase Anichukwu. We have been looking at this issue of paganism because we want to get to a current situation. A few weeks ago, the government of Anambra State, you know, got into a big drama with the Ezedibias and the Ezemoke and the Ezewine. And then even in Enugu State, the story, I wasn't there, but I heard about the story of how the governor, you know, our own barrister, Peter Ndubisimba, invited all the Ezedibias and then asked them a question, whether they whether any of them could tell him why he invited them. And because nobody did that, then he asked them to pay for whatever they... I wasn't there, so, but I'm trying to say, you know, part of what we had, you know. And we want to use it to now come back to both of you. I want to start with you, because this issue of, you know, everybody's now coming up with this, you know, neo-paganism. Everybody's trying to now go back to, everybody's talking of, you know, is it what they call cultural nationalism, and so on and so on. You know, I don't know whether it's a spiritual thing, I don't know what is going on, but this issue of Ezedibia and Ezewine and Ezemoke, you know, because that's what is, this, I don't know, is it what we call paganism? Is that what you see as paganism? If that's anything like that. Because you already defined that that adherents of African religion,
true worshippers of Almighty God. True worshippers.
So this young boy, what are you calling them?
The truth is that bad governance in Africa has truncated a lot of things. Okay. Frustrations everywhere. In Igbo cosmology, whatever you achieve does not give you, you cannot get it. And whenever you get it, through Ogo, you will pay dearly for it. Because Ogo, most of these are practicing dangerous ritualism, dangerous occultism, contrary to the wishes, the prayers or the wishes of the holy deities and ancestors of Africa. There is economic quagmire everywhere. And once in it all, the Christian podium declare that once you accept Jesus Christ as personal Lord and Savior, everything becomes well for you. But that's lies, falsehood. It's when you accept Jesus Christ that persecution starts. Because Christ lives and teaches golden rule. Do unto others as others do unto you. And once you accept Jesus Christ, you stand against falsehood, lies, cheating, profiteering, all these things that make people to become overnight billionaires. You go against it. In your community, you speak the truth. So then they portray the gospel in a way that once you accept Jesus Christ, things start moving well for you. As a graduate, you get job, you marry a billionaire, and so on. So when all these promises were not fulfilled, all the promises given to them on the pulpits of the Christianity were not fulfilled, they turned now to seek it from elsewhere that is not even from the pure African cultural perspective. That's why you see all this proliferation of shrines everywhere. They import foreign occultism. They say no true African deity or holy ancestor will ask you to bring in the head of your mother or breast or private parts.
I want to take it from there because I want
Yes.
to go back to the pastor, Reverend Uche. You see, you hear what he's saying. You know, what explains what is going on now? The young ones are doing. How would you explain it? Because he has put his own that it's economic quagmire that is causing it, and then blaming also Christians. I don't know whether
Pulpits
it is.
promising them
No,
heaven.
I'm telling what you said, blaming Christians for what is going on.
You see, when one gives his life or her life to Jesus Christ, the message is not that everything will be all right. Whoever preaches that way, probably seemingly
Prosperity Christianity.
and
Prosperity Christianity.